Back over to you.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Or a graphic lift. You like that?
I know exactly what that is.
No, you don't.
You've taught me so well.
All right. Well, tablets are used for business and entertainment, but there are several other ways to use these devices that are gaining some momentum.
This is true. Our tech expert Dan Thompson joins us with more on that. They can really do everything except for what?
Drive your car.
Or make us money, or
yeah.
a magic money tree or something.
But they are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Let's talk first about how they're helping kids with disabilities and people with disabilities.
Yeah, absolutely. So what started this whole thing is I was reading an article in the Chattanooga Times Free Press the other day, and it was talking about a learning institute down there that's using iPads to help little kids with disabilities. And it was a full gamut of people with autism, cerebral palsy, I mean, you name it, and they had found some means to help these children out. And it was just really fascinating to hear parent stories of talking about how their kids, used to throw tantrums all the time because they had trouble communicating and things. They were just frustrated. And now that these apps have come out and using the iPad as a tool, they're getting behavioral changes and seeing developmental changes. And it was just really fun and heartwarming story to hear, how technology is being used for good things and not just entertainment and business.
No doubt.
Well, they're used in a lot of educational settings now. A lot of schools now have kids with their iPads rather than traditional textbooks.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's Webb or one of the other private schools in Knoxville is using almost solely iPads.
And I think the STEM Academy also uses iPads.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So it seems to be a growing trend. And when I was reading this, it was talking about some of these people with disabilities using a mouse. It was a little hard for them to make the connection that what I'm doing with my hand is affecting something on the screen.
And a mouse takes a lot of fine motor control.
That's
also,
right.
Don't you think?
That's right. Absolutely. And they were saying, with the touchscreen technology, it's much easier for them to relate that, hey, I'm touching the screen, and when I touch the screen, something is happening. And it was talking about how the learning curve is so much lower, and the kids and just adults alike were able to make progress much, much quicker. Very fascinating stuff.
Wonderful.
And it's saving them money too, which is a wonderful thing. Let's talk a little bit about how it's helping people with voting. We do the news. I know what's going on in the voting world. Every time I get up there, I get a little confused.
Yeah. So one of the things that Oregon is doing, Oregon is kind of known as a bit of a progressive state as far as trying new things to get more people to the polls. One of the things they've just launched is a app on the iPad, and they take it around and they allow people to vote using the iPad. Now, it's not actually casting the ballot from the iPad. It gives them a means as a touch screen to select the candidates they want to vote for, and then it prints out the ballot, and then they just count it like they do the other mail-in ballots. So it's an interesting way. They're taking it to elderly homes and parks and things like that. There was a big article about it in one of the newspapers where they were taking it around to parks where they tend to take disabled children, or this wouldn't be children voting, but disabled adults and things like that for their exercise times and things like that. So just really neat, and it was nice and refreshing to see them taking a stance to help people who wouldn't normally be able to get to the polls or couldn't use the machines because of the fine motor skills it takes to do that. So interesting stuff.
Access is an issue when it comes to voting. I mean, getting there on voting day, if you can't, even to get there to vote early, you have to get somewhere. You have to go somewhere physically.
Yeah, absolutely. And one more thing let's talk about is for parents who have children with disabilities, if you're interested in apps, there's a website called bridgingapps.org. And what that site does is if you're an educator or a parent, you can select which category you fall into, and it'll help you find apps specific to your child's needs.
Wow.
So this will help you very quickly narrow down which apps you might want to take a look at. It gives you good explanations of what they do. It's a great forum to connect parents with tools to help their children.
That's wonderful.
That is wonderful. Dan, thanks so much for telling us about that.
Yeah.
What a great interview. All right, we'll be right back at 7:21.
This week